My wife said she was going to visit her mom, but she was actually with my brother. I still can't believe it's real. I need to write this down before I lose my mind completely. Maybe someone out there will read this and learn from my stupidity. Maybe it'll help me process what just happened. I don't know anymore. 3 hours ago I was a married man. I had a wife who loved me, 2 kids who thought I hung the moon, and a brother I'd trust with my. Now I'm sitting in a motel room that smells like bleach and regret, and everything I thought I knew has turned to ash. Let me back. My wife Emma told me yesterday she was driving to her mom's place about 4 hours away. Her mom's been dealing with some health stuff. Nothing serious, but Emma wanted to check in. She does this every few weeks. I heard goodbye, told her to drive safe, reminded her to text when she got there. Normal Tuesday morning stuff. Except she never went to her mom's. I found out cause I'm an who got cocky. See, for the past 6 months, I've been having an affair with a woman from my gym. Her name's Rachel. She's nothing like Emma. She's spontaneous where Emma is careful. She laughs at all my jokes. She makes me feel like I'm still in my 20s instead of pushing 40 with a dad and thinning hair. It started innocent enough. Spotted each other at the gym. Casual conversation, then coffee after workouts. Then those coffees got longer. Then one day she touched my arm while laughing and I didn't pull away. I told it was just friendship. I told a lot of lies. The affair started 3 months ago. Hotel rooms during lunch breaks, her apartment when her roommate was out. I delete text, pay in cash, keep my phone face down. I thought I was so careful. I thought I was smarter than all those other guys who get caught. Yesterday, with Emma supposedly at her mom's, Rachel texted saying she had the whole apartment to herself. I couldn't resist. I told my boss I had a dentist appointment and left work early. We were in her bedroom when it happened. My phone was on her nightstand face for once because I thought I was safe. That's when the text came through from Emma. Hope your dentist appointment goes well. Mom says I froze. Rachel asked what was wrong but I couldn't speak. I just stared at those words. Mom says hi. Mom says hi. My hands shook as I opened my phone. I called Emma's mom directly, something I never do cause we're not that close. She picked on the third ring, sounding confused about why I was calling. Is Emma there? I asked. No honey, I haven't seen Emma in weeks. Is everything okay? The room started spinning. I made some excuse and hung. Rachel was getting dressed, asking questions I couldn't hear over the roaring in my ears. I called Emma, straight to voicemail. I called again. Voicemail. Then I did something crazy. I have this app on my phone, Find My Friends. Emma and I set it years ago for safety for emergencies. I'd honestly forgotten about it. I opened it with shaking hands. Her location popped. She wasn't 4 hours away. She was 20 minutes from our house, at an address I didn't recognize but somehow felt familiar. It took me 3 tries to type the address into Google Maps. When the street view loaded, I literally stopped breathing. It was my brother David's apartment building. David who'd been my best man at my wedding. David, who came over every Sunday for dinner. David who Emma always said was like the brother she never had. David who I told everything to, who knew about my problems with Emma. Who'd listened to me complain about our dead bedroom and her constant criticism. David, who'd looked me in the eye 2 weeks ago and said, "You're so lucky, man. Emma's amazing. Don't mess that." I left Rachel's apartment without explanation. She was calling after me but I was already gone. I drove to David's building like a man possessed. Found Emma's car in the parking lot, the same spot where David usually parks her car. Not visiting her mom here. I sat in my car for 20 minutes, maybe more, trying to breathe, trying to think, trying to understand. My phone kept buzzing. Rachel wondering if I was okay. A work email. My daughter asking if I'd remember to pick her science project supplies. My daughter. Oh God, my daughter. I couldn't go there. I wanted to. I wanted to kick down the door and scream and make them the way I was. But I couldn't move. Because going there would make it real. As long as I sat in that parking lot there was still a chance I was wrong. Maybe Emma was visiting a friend in the building. Maybe she'd parked there cause it was close to somewhere else. Maybe I was losing my mind and none of this was happening. Then the lobby door opened. And Emma walked out, with David. They weren't touching, they were just walking. But I knew, the way she looked at him, the way he held the door, the way she smiled, this soft, gentle smile I hadn't seen in years, the way she used to smile at me. They stood by her car for a few minutes, talking. I couldn't hear them. I couldn't look away. Then David touched her face, just briefly, and she leaned into it like it was the most natural thing in the world. Him. Not long, not dramatic, just a kiss, a goodbye kiss. See you later kiss, a kiss that said this wasn't the first time. Or the 10th. I watched my wife kiss my brother in broad daylight like it was nothing. Then she got in her car and drove away. David stood there watching until she turned the corner, then went back inside. Like it was routine. That's when I finally moved. I didn't go to David's apartment. I didn't call Emma. I just drove. I ended at this motel, paid cash and locked the door. Now I'm sitting here and my phone won't stop ringing. Emma's calling. She probably got home, realized I never came back from my dentist appointment. She's probably worried. Or maybe she knows. Maybe David told her. Maybe they're laughing about the irony. Because here's the thing that's eating me alive, I can't be mad. I have no right. I've been betraying her for 3 months. I've been lying to her face, sneaking around, making her feel crazy when she'd ask if something was wrong. I've been exactly what she's been to me. Except worse, because she did it with my brother. My brother, the person who was supposed to have my back no matter what. The person who stood next to me when I made vows to love Emma forever. And maybe that's justice. Maybe this is what I deserve. Maybe the universe decided to show me exactly what betrayal feels like by having the 2 people I trusted most me in the back the same way I stab at Emma. My phone's ringing again, it's Emma. I should answer. I should go home. I should face this. But I can't. Because once I answer that phone, once I go home, I have to decide what to do. Tell her I know, confess about Rachel, play and see how long she keeps lying. Then what about the kids? Our daughter is 10. Our son is 7. They love their Uncle David. They love their mom. They think their dad is a hero. How do you tell your kids their whole family is built on lies? The worst part is I still love her. After everything, after watching her with David, I still love her. And I for it. I for cheating. I for not being enough. I for turning into the kind of man who destroys everything he touches. Emma sent 5 texts now. The last one just says, "Please call me, I'm scared." She's scared. She has no idea what scared really means. I'm gonna sit here in this room that smells like strangers and mistakes, and I'm gonna figure out what comes next. Or maybe I'll just sit here until the world ends, because it already feels like it has. If we're reading this and are thinking about cheating, or have already started down that path, let me tell something: it never stays contained. It never stays simple. It spreads like until everyone love is infected. I thought I could have both. I thought I could keep Emma and still have my fun with Rachel. I thought I was special, different, smarter than everyone else who'd crashed and burned. Turns out I was just another fool who thought consequences were for other people. I went home. I don't know what else I expected to do. Can't hide in a motel room forever, even though God knows I wanted to try. I sat there for 3 more hours, watching the sun set through the stained curtains, until Emma's texts went from worried to frantic to angry to something worse. Silent. That silence scared me more than anything. I pulled into our driveway at 9:47 p.m. Every light in the house was on. Emma's car was parked crooked like she'd rushed inside. The recycling bin was knocked over, trash scattered across the lawn. Our neighbor's motion light kept flickering on and off. Everything looked wrong, like I was seeing my own through a funhouse mirror. Emma opened the door if I could get my keys out. Her face was pale, eyes red and swollen. For a second, just a second, I forgot everything. I forgot Rachel, forgot David, forgot the parking lot. All I saw was my wife in pain, and every instinct screamed at me to fix it. Where have been? Her voice cracked. I've been calling for hours. I thought something happened. I thought we're dead. The concern in her voice made me sick. She actually cared. Or she was a better actor than ever gave her credit for. Dentist ran late, I heard say. Phone died. The lie came so easily. 6 months of practice makes fluent in deception. She studied my face and I watched something shift in her expression. Suspicion, fear, guilt. I couldn't tell anymore. Maybe I never could. Or holding it. I looked down. She was right. The screen showed 47% battery. I meant I had it off. I needed to think. Think about what? Everything in me wanted to scream it. I say boiti David. But the words stuck in my throat because saying them meant admitting I was tracking her. And admitting that meant explaining why. And that meant confessing about Rachel, and suddenly we'd both be exposed and everything would detonate and there'd be no going back. So instead I said, work stuff. It's been stressful. She didn't believe me. I could see it in the way her jaw tightened, the way her fingers curled into fists, but she just nodded and stepped aside to let me in. The house felt different. Or maybe I felt different in it. Every family photo on the wall looked like evidence in a crime scene. Our wedding picture by the stairs. The kids' school portraits. That candid from last Christmas where we're all laughing, Emma's head on my shoulder, David in the background making bunny ears behind my head. David, my brother. In every memory, every moment, kids asleep. I asked. Yeah, they were asking about. I told them be home soon. More lies, we were drowning in them. I went upstairs, moving on autopilot. Checked on Madison first. She was sprawled across her bed, stuffed animals everywhere, nightlight casting shadows on her walls. She had my nose, Emma's eyes. She was perfect. Then Carter's room. He slept like I do, on his stomach, arms wrapped around his pillow. He'd gotten Emma's dark hair, my stubborn chin. He was going through a phase where he wanted to be like his uncle David when he grew. An engineer. Someone who builds things instead of breaking them. I stood in that doorway and felt something inside my chest. These kids. These perfect, innocent kids who didn't ask to be born into this mess, who thought their parents were happy, their family was solid, their world was safe. What was I doing to them? I found Emma in our bedroom, sitting on the edge of the bed, still in her clothes from earlier. The same clothes she'd been wearing in David's parking lot, a blue sweater I'd bought her last year. Jeans she always said made her feel pretty. How's your mom? I asked, cause I'm apparently a masochist. She didn't look at me. Same as always. That's good. We sat in silence. The clock on her nightstand ticked obscenely loud. I counted 17 ticks before she spoke again. Are having an affair? The question hit me like a fist to the gut. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. Just stared at her while my brain screamed contradictory instructions. Didn't it? Confess. Flip it back on her. Run. Runt. No. Why would ask that? She finally looked at me, and her eyes were empty. Because are different. I've been different for months, or distant, or always on your phone. Smell like perfume that isn't mine. Avoid touching me, can't look me in the eye. Every word was true. Every word was and, she continued, voice shaking, cause I found a receipt in your car. From a hoax ago. On a Tuesday afternoon. My turn to ice. I'd been so careful. How did I miss a receipt? That was for work, client meeting. Stop lying to me. She was crying now, tears streaming down her face. Just stop. I can't do this anymore. I can't pretend everything's fine when I know it's not. I deserve better than this. She deserved better. The irony would have been funny if it wasn't destroying me. If there's someone else, she whispered, just tell me, please. I need to know. This was it, the moment of truth. I could confess everything. Tell her about Rachel, ask about David, our entire in one honest conversation. Or I could keep lying, keep protecting, keep this terrible game going. I'm a coward. So I said, there's no one else. I promise. She looked at me for a long time. Then she stood, grabbed her pillow and walked to the door. I'm sleeping in the guest room. Don't follow me. She left. I heard the guest room door close, then lock. I sat our bed in our room, surrounded by evidence of our together, and felt more alone than I'd ever felt. My phone buzzed. Rachel. Hey, okay, left so fast earlier. Wanna type back? Can't talk now. Her response came immediately. Miss already. When can I see again? I stared at those words. This woman who made me feel alive, who wanted me, who didn't criticize or nag or make me feel like I was failing. This woman who was easy and fun and uncomplicated. This woman who wasn't my wife. Then another text came through. From David. Bro, free this weekend. Want to catch the game? I nearly the phone across the room. Instead, I called him. He picked on the second ring, sounding relaxed, happy even. Hey, where were today? My voice sounded strange, hollow. A pause. At work, then home. Why? Just wondering. Emma said she was at her mom's. Thought maybe he'd seen her. Another pause, longer this time. Nope, haven't seen Emma. Why, he was lying. My brother was lying to my face, voice steady, not even nervous. How many times had he done this? How many family dinners had we sat through, passing the potatoes, chatting about nothing while he and Emma shared secret glances across the table? No reason. Just checking. Listen, about this weekend, I don't think I can make it. Come on, man. I've been blowing me off for weeks. Is everything okay? The concern in his voice sounded so genuine. Maybe he actually cared. Maybe felt guilty. Maybe he was just better at this than I was. Everything's fine. Just busy. I'll call later. I hung before he could respond. Then I did something I'm not proud of. I went through Emma's phone. She'd left it charging in the kitchen, and I knew her passcode, but we've never had secrets. Or so I thought. Nothing. Her texts with David were normal. Boring even. Can pick milk. Thanks for helping with the yard work. See Sunday. Either she was deleting messages or using a different app. Probably both. I checked her email, her social media, her photos, nothing suspicious. She'd covered her tracks perfectly. Then I found it. A second Instagram account I'd never seen before. Private. Only following one person, an account with no profile picture and a random string of numbers as the username. I clicked on her messages with that account. The chat was empty, recently cleared. But when I went back to look at the account details, I noticed the profile picture loaded for just a second before disappearing. It was David. They had secret accounts. They were that careful, that deliberate. This wasn't some impulsive mistake or moment of weakness. This was planned, sustained, real. I'm not sure how long I stood there, staring at that blank profile, before I heard footsteps on the stairs. I shoved the phone back where I found it and pretended to be getting water. Emma appeared in the kitchen doorway, wrapped in her robe, face puffy from crying. I can't sleep, she said softly. Me neither. We stood there in our kitchen at midnight, two people who'd built it together, who'd made babies and bought houses and promised forever. And we were strangers. Do you still love me? She asked. A question broke something in me, because the answer was yes. Despite everything, despite Rachel and David and all the lies, I still loved her. I'd never stopped. Of course I do. Then why does it feel like our million miles away? Because I am, I wanted to say. Because I'm drowning and I don't know how to reach the surface. Because I've made choices I can't take back and now we're both paying the price. But I just said, I'm sorry, I'll do better. She nodded, but she didn't believe me. I could see it in her eyes. She went back upstairs. I stayed in the kitchen until dawn, watching the sun come over the houses across the street, wondering how everything had gotten so broken. My phone buzzed around 6 a.m. Another text from Rachel, out, then one from David. Can we talk? It's important. Then one from Emmett. I made a dentist appointment 2 p.m. today. Should actually go this time. 3 people. 3 different lies. 3 different ways I was destroying my. I went to work that day like a zombie. Sat through meetings without hearing a word. Ate lunch without tasting it. Came home to a house that felt like a tomb. Emma was distant. The kids sensed something was wrong and got quiet. Dinner was silent except for the scraping of forks on plates. That night while Emma showered, her phone rang. I saw the caller ID David. I answered it. Hey Dim, I just wanted to. Who is this? It's your brother. Remember me? Silence. We need to talk. I said. About what? About wire calling my wife at 10 p.m. She asked me to help with something, for your birthday next month. It's a surprise. The lie was smooth. Practiced. He'd thought about this. Prepared for it. Right, my birthday. Of course. Is everything okay, man? Everything's perfect. Never better. I hung and placed Emma's phone back on the nightstand. When she came out of the bathroom I was sitting on the bed, and she knew immediately that something had changed. What did do? Your brother called. I answered. Her face went white, and he said you're planning something for my birthday. She relaxed slightly but I saw the fear underneath. Right, yes, it's a surprise. I'm sure it is. We got into bed, lying on opposite sides, a canyon of space between us. The same bed where we'd made love, where we'd made our children, where we dreamed about our future. Now it felt like a coffin. I couldn't keep doing this. The pretending, the lying, the watching her lie while I lied back. Something had to give. Emma, I said into the darkness. Yeah. I've ever found out I did something terrible, something that would forgive me. She was quiet for so long I thought she'd fallen asleep. Then, I don't know. Depends on what did. What if it was the worst thing could imagine? Then probably not. Fair enough. I lay there listening to her breathe, wondering if she was asking herself the same question about me. My phone lit with one more text. Rachel, I think I'm falling in love with Pop. I turned the phone off and closed my eyes, knowing sleep wouldn't come. Tomorrow I'd have to decide, confess or keep playing this game until it killed us both. But tonight I just lay there in the dark, with my wife 10 inches away and my brother's betrayal burning a hole through my chest. We were all cheaters, we were all liars. We were all destroying each other one secret at a time. And the worst part, the kids were still sleeping upstairs, dreaming innocent dreams, having no idea their world was about to end.